everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK. I'm the president, founder, and chief listening officer here at our network. And our show today is What's Trending. And you know what's trending? CATHY Fulton is back. I'm super excited. Let's welcome her to the show. Hi, CATHY.
Hi, hello again.
Hello again. For those of you who missed it, we just had a fabulous show, chock full of information. So please do go over to our YouTube channel and check out our show, Aging Gracefully with Humor. So, CATHY, you're looking quite well, very radiant. What's your secret?
I went on vacation. Yeah, it took some time, and let's see, we've had a couple beach trips during the month of August, the end of July and first part of August. And I don't know if you can see, but I actually have a tan.
Let's see it.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah,
the
fabulous
stripes. Yeah, and I mean, sometimes I used to think getting out of town and being away from things was underrated, but the older I get, the more I see the value of it. So anyway, that's my secret.
Well, I like it. And we have a guest that you have invited who will be here momentarily. We're going to be talking about energy management, but I want to talk about something else. You are a serial entrepreneur, and you just mentioned something about vacation. And I think that that is a challenge that many entrepreneurs and business owners face. They feel like nothing will be right if they take time off, or they take everything with them, the computer, all their their files, so that they can work while they're away. And sometimes that might annoy the other person if you're traveling with someone. So how did you get to this point of saying, hey, I need this, I'm worth it, I've got a system set up so that I can go away?
Well, I still really haven't. Like, for example, okay, so the first beach trip, I mean, I took all of my stuff. I was going to do the shows when I was there at the beach, and technology, it didn't happen. But it, this go around, I don't know. I guess I worked longer days, and just tried to get things as to where maybe hopefully things wouldn't blow up and fall apart while I was away. But I mean, it's just, see, I'm a pretty much a one person show, with the exception of the home care piece and component of my life, and the home care agency. And I don't know. I mean, I just kind of have to go with it. And I still check email. This time, this last trip that we went on, I tried not to respond as much to email, and but it's just a moving, it's just kind of a moving target, because I mean, people that have paid you money, you cannot not respond to them. People that need caregivers, I cannot not have someone show up. So I guess I'm fortunate too, in that Joe is very understanding, and I mean, we've been together for 10 years now, and so he gets it, but he also owns his own business, so things fall apart, they run off the rails, the wheels fall off the bus, however you want to say it. And so we just give each other space and grace, because it's hard. It's really hard. And I really admire the people who say, okay, well, while I'm out of town, this person is going to handle everything. And unfortunately, what I found in my world and my truth is that unless somebody that's helping me, unless it really affects their bank account, then they're going to be hard pressed to really, like, just mow through that problem, meaning find another caregiver that didn't show up that day, or be just as concerned about I would be if a bunch of furniture showed broken up. It's really, it's it's a lot to ask of someone to care as much as you do about your own business. I mean, even when you're paying them a salary, I mean, that's just been, um, what I found. But, one thing that I've often thought and wondered about you is, you do all this production yourself. How are you ever gonna take a vacation? How are you ever gonna do this? Because you're gonna y let's face it. You're gonna get to the point where it's like, "You know what? I need a break. I need a break," and the weekends aren't gonna be enough because you work on the weekends just like I do, right? What's your
Yes, it's
what's
very true.
what's your plan? Who's gonna be come on. You got you
This is
thought
actually
about
a
it.
great question because we have an event coming up, which is a 17-hour event, and it starts at 5 in the morning here in on the East Coast of the US, and then it ends at I forget what time we're going till in the UK time, but it's the World Jenny's Day. And I thought to myself, I cannot be broadcasting for 17 hours. I mean, so far I've done 6 hours for the reunion events. So I thought I'm going to have a plan. So my plan is I will actually train a couple of people on how to produce the shows and give them access to the platform. And of course, that always makes me a little nervous because somebody can get on there and do whatever it is they want. But I do trust a number of people, obviously, here on our team. So that's my
Right.
plan. My long term, my big picture, if I'm an eagle flying over, is that I am on very few of the shows. I have my own shows, but all the shows are, let's say, you have what's trending without me. And the shows are all produced. And so that therefore I can hire producers and I don't have to be here doing this all the time because I have my other business, which is teaching people how to listen at an elevated level. It's also fitness. We have a new fitness class coming up, by the way, starting Sunday. It's called Get Off Your Couch. And it's a 30-minute class you can do in your home. It's actually exercise, not a class. So my long-term goal is that I am not in the day-to-day of being on screen. I'm behind the scenes.
Good. So you have done some you've done a lot of thinking about it and you're getting things into place. That's good
Yes.
because I just can't imagine doing what you do every day. It's a lot. A lot.
Yeah, well, it's thank you that yesterday the newsletter came out. I spent 8 hours on that newsletter.
Mhm.
And it's something I'd like to do every week, but I don't really have those 8 hours. But when I think
Mhm.
about being able to promote people and what they're doing because people don't watch all the shows.
Mhm.
They don't have time to sit and watch 29 shows a week every single week. Can you imagine? So if we have snippets of people on our team and people can actually go through this like magazine, that's what I was going for, magazine look. And then, oh, Kathy Fulton, there she is. I can watch this show about organizing the kitchen, or I can contact her directly and hire her for
Mhm.
interior decorating. So but
Yeah.
you're right. You have to have a big overarching strategy. And so for you, I would love to have you share that you are in the home healthcare business, which has to be extremely stressful. I mean, yesterday I reached out to you and there was an incident, and then you are doing high end luxury kitchens, bathrooms. Your husband does luxury pools, and I know you were in that business as well. So you got pressure coming at you everywhere, Kathy, plus other situations in your life. How do you manage it all?
I don't. I mean, I you know, I mean, you do what you have to do and I don't know. I guess I have just maybe I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't know. Um,
You look great. You don't look stressed out at all. Sometimes you can see it on a person's face. You go, yeah, they're under a lot of pressure. And I know you just came back from the vacation, but you always handle yourself in a very professional way.
oh, well, not always. I have some beautiful moments, that I'm not real proud of, but I don't know, I just try to, I guess, compartmentalize everything, but, even my mom and I find this interesting, and I guess it's because my life has been this way for, I don't know, 15, 20 years now of, multiple businesses and having a lot of balls up in the air. Um, I mean, even my mom at 91 said to me the other day, she goes, I sit and watch you, and your phone rings off the hook, and you're dealing with all these situations. I don't really know what you're dealing with, but I know that it's a situation from the look on your face. And you just, everything, it's like bombs can be going off all around you, and you will just sit and you will figure out that problem. So I guess after, I don't know, like I said, 15, 20 years of this behavior, maybe I have mastered the external look, because on the inside, probably 75 to 85% of the time, I, I mean, it's not that I'm a wreck, but there's something going on. There's a problem. I mean,
And you know what, Kathy, what's interesting for me, I take my stress out through exercise. And you and I have spoken about it, and you're not actually channeling going for a 10-mile run. I love that about you, right? So you don't have that outlet to take your stress. So
right.
it must be going somewhere.
I don't know where. But while I was, or while we were away, so Joe is I mean, he looks great. He's really fit. I mean, he's going to be 60 in February. You would never know. I mean, he is like in fantastic shape. And so I went to the gym with him, not once, not twice, but three times. Three times.
Woo,
Oh, I
Kathy, I
know.
love it.
I know. I know. I know. And
That's why you look
so,
so good.
oh yeah, exactly. But I do enjoy working out. I really do. It's just that, and I know you're gonna poo poo this because everybody does. I don't have the time, and I know what you're gonna say. You make for the time. You make time for the things that are important to you. I'm not unless someone is going to be moved to the back burner as a result of it. See, I look at my life in terms of, and maybe this is unfortunate, but because I work for myself, it's complete commission. So every 2 weeks or every Friday or once a month, whatever it is, I'm not going to get that paycheck. I'm not going to get that paycheck unless I am working all the time. And I have bills to pay just like the rest of the world. And so either there's like something really wrong with me, I can't manage my time correctly, or I am incredibly responsible. I don't know. I'm sure everybody has an opinion, and so and I get it. But and then there are those in the crowd that would say you've got to really learn to manage your time better. But it's just, I don't know. I just feel like when people contact me when there is an issue, I would prefer not to let it sit on the burner and simmer, because that's just going to be a problem. Sometimes I've had to just because something else is going on, but that's not my preference. I prefer to address it. And two, like if an elderly client has fallen, I can't say, okay, well, I'm across town and I'll get there. I don't know. My last meeting's around 5ish. So can you wait? I mean, it just, you know what I mean? My life just doesn't wait. It just doesn't wait. And,
You do have a lot on your plate, and a lot of pressure, high pressure. You have to deliver. And I love the way you are as a business person, and you're an excellent client, by the way. And also as a business person, you take things very seriously. You're very direct to the point, and I really appreciate that. So we had somebody on yesterday on the business show, and he's a business strategist and a coach, and he said that clients will come to him and they'll say, it's not really working out with this business. And he'll say, well, how much time are you putting into it? Well, I'm doing a little here and a little there, but I'm over here doing this. And he's like, it's not going to work because you're not passionate about what you're doing. You're not living for this work, or it's not what motivates you. And you are motivated by what you do. You love what you do, as I do as well. So this is our priority. So for me, I don't have, like, I'm not married, I don't have any children, and so I have those, a couple of hours on certain days. Yesterday I was toast, I couldn't do anything because 9 shows in a row. But today, God willing, I will go out and work out for a couple of hours, and I'll just be so grateful that I had that time. But for the majority of it, we're working. That's what we're doing.
Right, right. Wait a minute. Did I hear you say you missed a day of exercise?
Yes,
Oh,
on
oh
Wednesdays
my
I
gosh.
know. I
Oh,
couldn't yesterday. My eyes were killing me from looking at the screen for 9 hours, and I just thought, I'm just taking the day off. I hated myself for it, of course, but I'll live. I
yeah,
have.
no, I understand, but you're right. You do have to be very passionate and you have to be very driven. And I mean, I do like everything that I do, but I do want to pay my bills. I'm always very and I think it's because I went through a time in my life where I wasn't going to be able to pay those bills. I had the rug pulled out from under me. I was going through a horrible divorce, and I use this term like in describing how those moments felt when my ex-husband stole all the money and I had none. Um, I don't think it's an appropriate term, and I hope nobody will really bash me, but I don't really know how else to describe it. Um, because I think it's really reserved for people that have been, like, for example, in the military, or have survived some horrible assault or something like that. But it's like post-traumatic stress disorder. And that's kind of what that experience felt like for me. And I mean, it was, see, that was back in 2008. And I'll never forget that feeling of getting the phone call. And um, he asked me, this was my ex-husband, if I had been to the bank lately. And I said, no, why? And he said, well, I wouldn't go if I were you. And I said, why? He said, because there's no money there. And I said, why? How? And that's a whole nother story. And it was kind of like I used to watch like 48 Hours and Dateline and 2020, and they've had different shows on there, like where, say, someone wasn't going to bring home the children, like it was, an estranged marriage, a divorce, and they weren't going to bring home the children, and or they were threatening to, kill them, or something like that. It was just a very eerie phone call. And I don't know. So I think that is I mean, when you're facing, or when you're in a position of no money and you don't know really what to do next, it's just like I said, I'll just never forget that feeling. And I think that is another driving force, because I don't ever want to feel that feeling again. That's
Wow, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I can imagine that would be completely traumatizing and
but
stay with you.
but I mean, I guess I kind of put it in a poor pitiful me thing, position, and that really wasn't, that isn't really the way that I feel about it, because I truly believe that everything is done for you, not to you. Again, I think it's a mindset thing. And so really, in my eyes, what was done and was trying to be used for my harm really helped me. It catapulted me. It made me realize what I was capable of, and how responsible I could be, and how I could really accomplish the things that needed to be accomplished. So again, it's all in your outlook, and the way that you position events that have happened in your life. No, it
Very
wasn't
true.
fun. It wasn't fun, but it happened, and here we are.
Well, I applaud you for the journey that you're on and how well you're doing. And also, our guest is backstage, but his camera is not connected, so we're not able to see him. So while we wait for that, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about what is trending when it comes to home design, because you have your talking heads show right after this. But this is the time of the year, at least here in the States, people are coming back from vacations and holidays. Then it's the fall, people going back to school. And it's like, wow, this is a time that I really want to reflect on my surroundings. How do I feel about where I'm living? And is it time for a change? And you can work with people to give them that environment that they will feel comfortable in and love.
Yeah, well, I mean, kids are about to go back to school, either here in Northern Virginia, it's going to be sometime next week, or it will be like right directly after Labor Day. And so, what most people are thinking about is Thanksgiving and Christmas are right around the corner. So, they're looking at all kinds of things. How quickly can we get new carpet? Oh gosh, I need new flooring. I need new hardwood floors. Oh dear God, the kitchen is horrible and we need to gut it and do it now. How quickly can we get things in? I mean, we need new furniture. The master bathroom is horrible. We can't take it anymore. We need it done now. I mean, it's all those things. It's everything. Every single piece of the house, somebody's looking at it and they're sick of it. They've been home all summer and they're like done. It's kind of like during COVID. You when you're home long enough and you keep looking at the same things over and over again, you begin to pick it apart and you can't take it anymore. So, but I have a client that is moving. They lived here in Northern Virginia, and then they got relocated due to their work to New Mexico, and they've just bought a house, and they pretty much want to remodel it, and with everything from carpet, flooring, new kitchen, new master bathroom, just pretty much everything that I talked about. And I talked with them yesterday, and they said, one of the things that wasn't on our list, but we really decided that we need are massive closets. And yeah, so it's just like everything else, the list just continues to grow. So, it's just people and their homes. Always
So,
something to do.
Kathy, what's actually trending when it comes to, just pick one part of the house, when it comes to closets? Is it, I've always had a dream of having a closet like you shared when we first met in one of the visuals. It was like you could live in the closet. It was so beautiful with the chaise in there, gold chaise. So, when it comes to closets, what's trending now?
Well, to do a beautiful closet, not just a closet, but really, I mean, like some of those photos, a beautiful closet. And to really think through the space, whether you're the type of person that needs a lot of drawers or you have an inordinate amount of hanging clothes. So the spatial planning is, it takes an inordinate amount of time, believe it or not. But then the materials that are used in there as well, like everything from the doors with the glass on the front and the beautiful hardware in them. That's really one of the big things is the materials that are used, along with the floor plan, this planning out the space. So.
Kathy, when you work with someone, do you say to them in some fashion or other, what are your goals? What are your objectives? And then they share, okay, I want to have glass doors and a gold chaise, and I want to have individual things for the shoes, and I want to spend $500. And then you have to kind of go, okay, hello, that's not actually possible. I'm just throwing
Yeah.
out numbers.
You're right,
Yeah.
right. No, I try to prepare people and try to be very, very realistic because I don't want to waste their time, and I really don't want to waste mine either. I mean, I enjoy working with really anybody, but I mean, if the money isn't there, they're just going to get frustrated. And I mean, $500 for a closet, that's not even maybe a coat closet, but I don't know. you know.
So when we
Um,
watch these reality TV shows, which I haven't watched in a while, but the wives, the Beverly Hills, New York, whatever, and we see these enormous closets that each shoe is treated like it's a princess or a prince. What does something like that cost? Just a range.
Right. Well, I'm in a networking club called BNI, and it's nationwide. You have to be there once a week. It starts at 8 o'clock, and I recently did what's called a keynote. Your keynote program, and you highlight all of your work, and so I showed a bunch of pictures of um, work that I had previously done and recently done, and so I showed one of those beautiful closets, and I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's probably about the size of, I would just call it like a large guest bedroom. Um, and but it was is and also another thing is the difference is always in the details, and it's those details that drive the price up every single time, but it's those details that make it exquisite and beautiful and such a wonderful experience every time you walk into that room. Anyway, so I went through the presentation, and so afterwards, she raised her hand and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I love this closet!" And it was, I mean, beautiful materials, beautiful hardware, glass doors, and she was like, "What would something like this cost?" And I said, "Well, now with the price of materials and labor, I would say you're probably looking at about 25,000." And she said, 25,000? And I said, "Mm-hmm." And she said, oh my God. And I'm like, it's just what it cost. And that's a very realistic number. It really is.
Can I
It's
tell you,
unfortunate.
I was thinking 50.
Okay,
I
well
was
then good. And let's get busy and
50,
design your closet.
come to me, 50,000 for the closet. When it comes to closets, as I've told you before and I've shared on the platform, I was obsessed with shoes and bags. I have some magnificent shoes and bags. And some of my shoes I even have in my, I don't know what it's called. It's the piece of furniture you have in the dining room where you have the china cabinet. And
Yes.
so I have my shoes displayed in there with some Versace plates and other things. And it's kind of like I always appreciated the craftsmanship, the work that
Yeah.
is put into these designs as opposed to shoes that are manufactured by a machine. We actually had a guest on one of our shows and she custom makes all of the shoes herself, no sheen. So anyway, I feel like they have a right to be displayed in a beautiful case. So I might be one of the strange people.
Yeah. No, I agree. And when I moved into my new house about I guess it's been a year and a half ago, I did two closets, one in the master bedroom, and it's very nice. And then I took the room upstairs, the guest bedroom, and I turned it into another magnificent closet. So I have the upstairs is the spring and summer wardrobe, and then the downstairs is fall and winter. And people always say, "Don't you get tired of going upstairs?" I'm like, "Absolutely not." And they're like, "What's going to happen when you're too old to go up those stairs?" And I said, "That's why they make an electric cart that'll go up the staircase. I don't care. I'm always going to go up into that room. It's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. You
You
walk
have to
in,
show us on a future show. I would love to
I
see it.
I will. I will. In fact,
By the way,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry,
Is
our
he here?
guest is actually
Oh,
here.
great. Great, great,
Yes.
great. Wonderful.
So I feel sad that we only have 10 minutes, but we'll bring him back. So would you like to introduce how you met Tarek?
Yes, through one of my friends at BNI. He is on his team, and he is an energy broker. So there you have it. And I
All
found that
right.
fascinating.
Energy is a big topic all over the world. So let's
You
welcome
think?
Tarek, yes, to the show. Hi, we're so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us.
Sorry about the technical issues. Looks like my camera wasn't working at all.
That's okay. You're here now. So tell us about your background in energy and energy, as I just mentioned, it's a huge topic. People are arguing, debating back and forth about various types of energy. One thing is we always need energy. So
Right.
tell us how you got involved in this industry.
I started a couple of years back. Well, it's not a couple of years anymore. A long time now. In 2018, we were one of my partners. He was in the energy industry already, and I was in technology, and I built softwares. And he was selling energy back then, right? And he came to me one day, and he's like, "Hey, the energy industry uh, really needs a lot of technology. It's so behind. We're still using spreadsheets, and we're not able to do a lot of pricing comparisons because they're limited by technology." So that got me kind of interested on how we can introduce technology and make this better for that, right? So I started exploring with him on learning about the industry and seeing what it is that technology can do. So we created a pricing engine. So uh, his company, or our joint company, after we had connectivity with over 40 companies, right? 40 suppliers. But problem is that energy prices are different per in every area based on how much energy a property uses, how they use it. It's very complicated. And before getting into the industry, I had no idea that it was that complicated, right? You always had the lights on. I thought electricity comes from the grid, right? Someone produces energy and sends it over to our houses. But there's so much intricacies in the behind the scenes. So it was really good to learn. And then we decided to come up with this pricing engine, and we created a sustainability platform. Basically, what our platform does, it helps our property owners or huge users of energy see how they can reduce their consumption, where they can optimize the use of energy, uh, and really see. So I'll give you an example. So if you take a independent schools district for an example, our software would show every property. They can compare two properties on how much they're using. It can show different ways they can reduce consumption and how they can be more green.
It's a topic that is so vitally important to all of us.
Mhm.
And one thing that you mentioned, and I think it's important to have you expand on that, is many times people don't actually give thought to the fact I've got the lights on, I've got this appliance running, this is or that. But there are ways that we can actually cut back, not
Yeah.
only to keep the bill lower, but also to help this planet. What are your thoughts about that?
That is definitely that should be the primary reason, right? Because in the end of the day, we live in this planet, right? And it's all of our responsibility to take care of it. And historically, we haven't done a great job, right? You see that sea levels are rising everywhere. Global warming is a bigger threat than ever right now. And energy is something, it's so easy to, we can do little things to conserve energy. And you'll see that when electricity price was really low, we didn't really care much about it. End of the day, I think Kathy was talking about this earlier in the show, right? That if it doesn't hit your wallet, you don't really see it. So, but now energy prices we see are tremendous. It has gone up almost 60% in last 5 or 6 months, right? So conserving now not only helps the planet, but also helps your wallet. It makes more sense now than ever. And the for no people or companies, they don't have to do a whole lot. We do this energy conservation study for large users of energy, and we see that even like without any investment, without just changing the way they operate a little bit, right? Being a little bit more aware helps them cut energy usage almost 20 to 30%, and that's huge. That helps with their bill. Also helps the planet, reduces carbon carbon a lot.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. It's more and more, we have to look at what can we do collectively as global citizens to focus on energy. And there are so many different types of energy sources today, it seems, that are uh, available. So, for example, we have a friend here on the platform, a team member. He's traveling through Europe with his RV, and the top of the RV is all filled with solar panels.
Right.
So, which I think is really cool. But can you share with our audience what are the various types of energy sources that are available?
Sure. So mostly energy is generated in US from coal. Most of our energy comes from coal. There's also sources based on natural gas. And nowadays, renewable energy is very big. Renewable energy sources include wind, solar. Uh, Interesting fact is that Texas is both the leading producer of coal-based energy or oil-based energy and wind-based energy. Uh, so there's also another source that would be a little bit more future, but it's going to be available soon. Is nuclear-based energy.
Wow. Okay. So when I hear nuclear, I got like a little like chills went up my spine for because
Right.
we hear so many things, nuclear war. So tell us how that energy, that nuclear energy can be harnessed in a productive and safe way.
Yeah. So yeah, nuclear is scary. I mean, any sources of energy can be scary depending on how you use it, right? Nuclear, the stigma behind is that it's used in war, but it's a tremendous source of power, right? And if it can be done in a safe way, it can produce a huge amount of energy. So there are nuclear facilities, and in US we don't get a lot of energy from nuclear sources today, and precisely the reason why you said it is because it can be used for harm as well, right? And nuclear has a huge impact on nature as well, surrounding areas. So I think but the way where technology is going, nuclear will become safer and easier and less impacting to nature to use. Countries like Bangladesh, India, they're already investing in nuclear power because they have lot smaller landmass and huge demand for electricity, right? So nuclear could be something a great source of power there, where a small facility can produce a lot of power.
Thanks so much for sharing that. Kathy, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's amazing, and I mean, can you talk about, because I think that there are a lot of people that don't understand this or realize this, and I didn't know this until I started talking with Yosef, who is my BNI partner, and that there are areas that are regular. There are states that are regulated, and then there are states that are deregulated,
Yeah,
and you can actually choose who your provider is.
right.
Can you expound on that and name some of the states, because I think people would be very surprised.
No, definitely. So, historically, in U.S., energy used to be regulated. That means that we received all of our power from city or state or government, right? And then around 1996, 1998, states started going deregulating, so giving power to private companies to operate and sell energy. Texas went deregulated in 2002, and then shortly followed by Maryland, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., Illinois, Chicago, New York. A lot of the major cities were the first, or major urban areas were first to deregulate, and then slowly the entire state deregulated right around them. So currently in US, there's about 18 states that are deregulated. That means that in these 18 states, you can buy power from private sources, and it's so in those states like Texas or Maryland or Washington D.C., buying power is as easy as buying a phone plan, right? You compare rates, and whoever provides you the cheapest option, you go with them. In other states that are not deregulated, energy is heavily regulated and provided by a central source. Say it could be city, it could be state, or it could be there are no federal, but either city or state, right, or a municipality. And when it's regulated, the authorities decide the rate, right? So they would decide how much customers would pay, and customers won't have a choice. In deregulated states, customers have a choice. They can, if any time the providers increase their rate, they can look for a different supplier.
I didn't know any of this information. That's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Does it make any sense, or is this a completely ridiculous idea for us, if you're in a state that's deregulated, to have a backup plan, a plan B with a different provider for energy?
Yeah, no, it's not possible to have two providers at this time. So anyway, it's deregulated. How it works is basically pretty much similar to other contracts you have, right? You go into a contract with the supplier, and they give you a rate, and you have that rate locked in for that amount of time that you're in contract. And once your contract is up, you can get into another contract. Now, as far as backup goes, we always recommend that people shop for power early on and not wait till their contract is up. And so in Texas, for example, when there was COVID, energy prices were so low. A lot of companies took advantage and had a purchase power. And good thing about deregulated states that you can buy power in future. So even into 2018, we signed deals that started in 2021 or 2022, right? But people have or companies that have signed up back in 2018, they're enjoying the energy rate that was available in 2018, and now it has, compared to those rates, it's almost 130% more. So we always say that that's your backup, right? Always, whenever you're in a contract and you're in a deregulated state, have another contract inked up so it starts after your current one, and not wait till the current contract runs out, because as we are seeing now, a lot of companies had waited, and now their contracts coming up to an end, and now energy market is really, really high, and they're having to get into this high market prices.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up question. I'll go over to Kathy. So technology continues to change. It's always evolving. We know that from our phones. We get one, and before you know it, it's time to get a new one. How does technology play a role, or what role does technology play when it comes to energy?
Was it for Kathy or for me?
Oh, no, for you. I'm sorry. Yes.
I wouldn't know the beginning of that.
Kathy, do you know?
The technology, as in anywhere in our life, right, plays a huge role, and even in energy, you see that. So technology can do a lot of things. So, for example, in a huge grocery store, right, you can add smart controls to HVAC, so that it really optimizes how it runs, because in big properties, HVAC takes up almost 60% of their energy bill. And just by optimizing HVAC, introducing smart controls, there are a lot of Internet of Things, IoT devices, like motion control, right? So motion sensors that you can install in the rooms. If no one's in the room, it automatically turns out the light. And if it senses motion, it turns on the light. There are even simpler things that's easier. Smart thermostats, even though those heavily used. So all of this combined, they reduce energy usage almost half than what you would do without them. And they're also like where energy is going nowadays. More every electronic devices we're using, they're becoming more efficient. You must have noticed that your phone is now running for longer time on battery than it used to, and it will continue to be optimized. And that's where technology comes in, right? We're making higher capacity batteries. We're making lights that are more conservative, or uses electricity more conservatively. We're improving our HVAC, and anywhere you see, from airports to train stations or even houses, technology is becoming more and more efficient. And then solar is very, very popular now. Solar is a great source. Anywhere you get a lot of sun, I think solar is a no-brainer. You should definitely put solar panels on the house if you can and generate your own power. Then you don't rely on the grid at all.
Yeah, I agree with you. Great information.
So, as far as the solar panels on the house,
Mhm.
I'm sure it depends on the size of the house, but what could that run you cost?
The cost isn't much really if you think about the return on investment, right? Especially for with company like ours, like there is no down payment to go solar, right? We finance the entire cost of solar, and it really is a question like buying a car versus leasing it, right? So right now, when you are using power from a company, right, from the grid, you're kind of like you're leasing your power, right? You're in a lifetime contract with them, and ultimately, even though in deregulated states you can shop around, but energy prices tend to always go up, right, because of the economics. With solar, you have the full control, and as far as cost goes, you're really looking at paying $20,000 to $25,000 over a year of 20-year period, right? So it really is. It runs you for an average house, $85 to $110, which is less than your average bill. If you think about your bills in summer, must be a lot higher than that, and then maybe in the winter it's lower. But if you take your entire year into consideration, solar always costs lower than your average cost per year. So solar is nowadays it's making a lot more sense short term as well, just because energy prices are so high. But historically, just like buying a car pays you over time, getting solar also pays you over time. And now that ROI is much faster because of energy prices being really high. But and then again, it's 20 to 25,000 for an average house. Then again, depending on how big your house is, how large your consumption is, it can be more. But end of the day, it's always lower than what you pay to the electric companies. And when you're paying to the electric suppliers, I mean, you're not, you're paying every month, right? It's a lifetime contract. With solar, once you pay off the cost of the solar, you don't pay anything. It's yours, right? So then you're producing energy and you're using what you're producing.
And is the solar option, is that only for new construction?
No, solar can be installed on any house, really. And nowadays the solar panels are so light. Even on the older house, you can put solar panels even without replacing roof. So it's really convenient to use solar. There was another big complaint about solar that they were eyesore. But nowadays the solar panels are they're black on black. They look like roof tiles, so they don't look as bad. There's no silver lining on the side. So old house or new house, anyone can go solar.
That's good to know. And how do people work with you? What is that process like? How do they contact you? And then what happens after that?
So first is our website, raveenergy.net. The people land there, and we have both options, right? With Rave Energy, we have solar and we have the traditional electric supply. So if anyone is looking to shop for energy on their home or their business, they can come to raveenergy.net. And if they're in a deregulated state, they'll be able to see all the suppliers that are available to them and what price that it is available. And they can, just like buying something on Amazon, they can sign up for an energy plan online. Also, they can go to our website for solar. On Rave Energy, there's a tab for solar, and it takes you to our solar site, which is called Helios. That's our solar business, and you can actually put in your address, and you can see how much it will cost you to go solar. It's a ballpark cost, but it'll help you estimate and understand how much solar can cost for you on your house.
Thank you so much. Kathy, last question over to you as we're just about to run out of time.
Yeah, I find the whole solar panel thing, that the whole concept fascinating. So just and I will ask a stupid question because I know that there are other people out there that would probably want to know this, or they're of the same mindset as me. Okay, so I there's a disconnect in my mind as to how, okay, so you've got your solar panels. Okay, you've paid them off and now you can use them. Is that accurate? So you really can't use them until they're paid for, right?
So as soon as you install solar, and again, no question is a stupid question, right? Renewable energy is very new to all of us, and that this is the kind of questions all of our customers have, right? So no, you get to, as soon as you put on the solar panels on your house, you start using them from day one. Once you have gotten into the finance part of it, it's just like paying per month, right? Buying a car on finance, you pay per month. It doesn't stop you from using the card. So solar is the same way. You install solar on your house, and it starts producing from day one, and you pay a monthly payment every month to the finance company, right? You could also pay cash and pay for the entire system up front, and then you don't have to worry about paying anything per month. But yeah, regardless of what you pay per month, the solar produces at most, whenever you have sun. And we use bifacial solar panels, so they also take surface heat into consideration. So not only sun, if it's a hot day, it would produce a lot, and you pretty much start reaping the fruit from the day one. So from your first month onward, you'll start making an impact. And going solar, one house can take off almost 8 cars on the road, if you compare it on how much it impacts the planet, right? So just by going solar on one house, you're taking off 8 cars or similar amount of carbon off the planet.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Wow, that really is.
Do the solar panels go just on the roof or any part that gets sun?
Solar panels, typically for houses, it goes on the roof, but it can also be on top of, it could also be ground mounted, so it could be on the ground. For businesses, it could go on top of carports. They can really be installed anywhere, but it's up to the engineers to see where it gets the most sun, and that's where it's typically installed. But it could be on the ground, it could be on the roof, it could be installed anywhere.
Thank you for this wealth of information. And I know we didn't have the whole show with you here, so I'd love to have you come back and chat with us some more. So how do people reach out to you? You already mentioned it, but for people who cannot read the banner and they're on the radio, what's the best way to contact you, and who should contact you?
Of course, and you can, Kathy talked a little bit about Yosef. So Yosef's our point of contact in Maryland and DMV area. People can get in touch, yosef@raveenergy.net. They can also give us a call. Our number is 972-352-9051. That is 972-352-9051. And we can talk to them, consult about energy. If they're a business, we do a study of their property first, and we give them a report on all the ways they can make their business consume less energy. And it's not just for electricity. We look into their gas usage, their water usage, their chillers, HVAC. Pretty much do a comprehensive study and give the businesses their recommendations on how they can reduce energy usage 20 to 30%.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this information that's vitally important to everyone. And please do come back and see us.
Apologies for the connection issues, but it was great talking to you and hearing both of you on the show. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you again. Bye for now.
Well, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Wow, Kathy, great insights. That's what I love about our platform is all the education. If you think about it, how much we learn from meeting different people and what's trending. So I know what's trending very soon is Kathy Fulton on Talking Heads. So we have less than just 5 minutes before we start the show. So Kathy, would you like to give your information to our audience?
Sure. So if you are wanting to redesign any space in your house or initially design a new space, feel free to reach out to me. I'm at 703-895-3798, or you can call me or you can email me. I'm at kathyfulton1965 @gmail.com.
All right. Thank you. Please do stay with us. Kathy is coming right back with her Talking Heads episode. And please go over to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV, and you can look for Talking Heads 2022 and also Talking Heads Kathy Fulton. You'll find her shows there. You'll find what's trending there. You'll find Aging Gracefully with Humor there, and also Woman's Prerogative. All the shows are there. All right, Kathy, we're saying goodbye for now, and you'll be back shortly.
See
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Okay, bye.
Bye.